Yeah,
Okay, we'll do the four championship fighters. Letters.
Last year.
Grasso A.
Jones defeats.
Oh, I see. Okay. Morning, everybody. How you doing? Looks like we're about to get started. Top of the hour. For the notes we're getting, it appears that the women's flyweight title fight will be up first. Jon Jones and Ciryl Gane not checked in yet, so we'll see them later. Obviously, as heavyweights, no real rush to get down here. Here you go, cold coffees. How's everybody doing this morning? We got audio and everything. We're going big time. Apologies for everybody who was hanging around last week. I messed that one up. This week, I mean, you got ESPN, you got the UFC, you got BT Sport. But you guys know the right place to hang out. It's right here. So we can chat some MMA. Sitting next to my man, Aaron Bronstetter. Well, not at the moment. I'm not sitting next to him. He actually stepped up and walked away. See that Prime hydration logo right there? All the kids are loving it. What's up, Scott McCrate? Always a pleasure to see you, bro. Always appreciate your support. Richard Noggin in the house.
Well, we heard a different
big,
Jon
man.
Jones, and I
It's
think
feeling
there is
big,
certainly
dude.
a
That
wisdom
press
alongside
conference,
now at
let's cut that
35
press
years of
conference,
age.
that
And if we are
energy.
to take him at
That
his
was
word,
legit,
didn't
an
seem like an
all-timer.
optimal training camp for Dominic Reyes. He has taken his physical
very
fitness to
excited.
that
West
requisite
Coast
next
in the
level. And I
house.
think what I've sort of leaned into is this
yeah, that
mixed
interview
martial
was
arts
exciting.
commitment.
And it's
He's
funny
always been a
because,
confident fighter, but I think
we've
the
been
work that
chatting
he
here
has
the
done
last couple weeks.
over the last
I've been
2.5,
super
3
excited to
years
see Jon
has
Jones
buoyed
back.
him to such an extent,
you know,
has
there's
taken
a
his
lot of,
confidence to such a
staunch
level
Ciryl
that
Gane
he, at the press
supporters. I'm
conference
not saying
yesterday, I was
it
talking to my
shouldn't
former
be.
broadcast
Ciryl Gane's
partner,
legit.
Brian Stan, last night, who
But I was
used to
kinda
train with
wondering
Jon
if they kinda
Jones, and Brian said, I've
lost
never
their
heard an
excitement
athlete
for
at
Jon
that
Jones,
level
but
be
saw
so
it yesterday.
detailed technically at a press conference about his opponent's weaknesses as to maybe why he shouldn't even be in a championship showcase. Very revealing from Jon Jones all week, and of course in a matter of hours he'll try to put those words into action.
Sorry, wasn't trying to talk over John A. there. I wasn't monitoring the audio feed. I just got Richard Noggin. Yeah, I just got that word from.
Yeah, I think you set it up well. You know, I think Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko were both fairly tight-lipped with us. Valentina historically is always going to manage her energy. Everything that she does is thoughtful. You know, I don't think Alexa Grasso is intimidated by this setting whatsoever. I certainly think that there was value gained in those 25 minutes with Viviane Araujo, even if, to Alexa's word, it wasn't necessarily her best performance. But I think this title fight is happening at the right time. I think she is in her fighting prime. But, of course, there have been a lot of fighters who have arrived at this Shevchenko fight in their fighting prime, and we know what oftentimes happens thereafter, so we'll see.
My English guys here.
Honorable Mark Radner, how you doing, sir?
Whenever we can see Lewis, we're always happy.
Very happy. All right. We won't see Kevin here, I know that.
Nah,
He's 0 for the wins. How was the press conference yesterday?
electric. Honestly, one of the most energy I've.
Well, Khamzat Chimaev might not have had this type of hype when he made his UFC debut, but certainly that night it all started. It's hard for me to rack my brain. Raul Rosas Jr., certainly when I was prepping to call his UFC debut last year, I felt a tremendous buzz. But, yeah, this is really next level, right? Of course, 3-time NCAA Division I national champion, and just seems to have the total package. The way he carries himself definitely has a lot of special qualities, and we'll see what he has for Jamie Pickett here on Saturday night.
Somebody tell John Adams to settle down. This is the John Morgan feed. Just kidding. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realize he was being piped in. I turned him down a little bit, too.
Let's go. I don't know if I will.
All right, looks like we're ready to go. No, sir, Oscar Maris. We just getting started right now. Women's flyweight title fight should be up first.
I know, my man.
Russ 901. What are we doing around here? What are we doing around here?
I might be in your way at times, just so you know.
Anytime you're ready, John.
All right, thank you all for being here for the official weigh-in for UFC 285, Jones versus Gane, and we will begin with a first-time UFC title challenger in the flyweight division, the number 6 ranked contender, Mexico's Alexa Grasso.
Oh, he said Mexico.
You know how he is.
124 and a half, the official weight for Alexa Grasso. Next to the scale is her opponent, making an 8th defense of her UFC flyweight championship, Valentina "Bullet" Shevchenko.
We don't know who.
124 and a half, the official weight for Valentina Shevchenko. Your co-headliner at UFC 285 is official.
I mean, come on. Who else?
All right, next
Commission say
athlete to the
put
scale,
hands down.
competing
They
in a
say,
prelim
"Nah."
in the middleweight division, still celebrating his Kansas City Chiefs, the Cuban Missile Crisis, Julian Marquez.
186.
Official weight 186 for Julian Marquez. All right, next fighter to weigh in, kicking off the pay-per-view main card of the middleweight division, Jamie Pickett.
$186.
186 for Mr. Pickett. All right, next athlete to weigh in. She is ranked in 2 divisions, but competing at flyweight here tomorrow night, Amanda Ribas. 126, the official weight for Amanda Ribas. All right, next athlete to the stage, competing in the UFC strawweight division, Tabitha "Baby Shark" Ricci. 115 and a half for Tabitha Ricci. All right, next fighter to weigh in, top 10 now in the UFC's middleweight division, Dricus du Plessis.
$185.
185 for the South African Dricus du Plessis. Next athlete to the scale, his teammate competing in the bantamweight division, Cameron Simon. 135, the official weight for MSP Cameron Simon. All right, next athlete to the scale, one half of the featured prelim live on ESPN in the bantamweight division, Trevin 5-Star Jones. $135, the official weight for Trevin Jones. All right, next fighter to the stage, competing in the UFC's welterweight division, Song Kanan. $171, the official weight for Song Kanan. All right, next up in the lightweight division, Loic Rajabov. $155.5, the official weight for Mr. Rajabov. All right, next fighter to weigh in, set to compete in a prelim live on ESPN at middleweight, Marc-Andre Barriault. $185, the official weight for Powerbar, Marc-Andre Barriault. All right, next fighter to hit the scale, weighing in as a backup for our heavyweight championship main event, Sergey Pavlovich. $259 for Sergey Pavlovich. All right, next fighter, the number 10 ranked welterweight contender, competing live on pay-per-view tomorrow, Shavkat Rakhmonov. $171 for Shavkat Rakhmonov. All right, next athlete to weigh in, also competing live on pay-per-view, the number 7 ranked lightweight contender, Mateusz Gamrot. $156 for Mr. Gamrot. And next to the scale is his opponent, number 10 at present in the lightweight division, the Tarantula, Jalen Turner. $155.5 for Jalen Turner.
All right, looks like we got our first break. Morning, everybody. Checking in with everybody. Groceries in the house. John Castillo, let's go. I see you, Richard Noggin. Talking about that baby shark. I see that you're impressed that she was on weight. Yeah, back up for a heavyweight fight. Yeah, that's not a bad gig, right? Hey, can you just show up at the weight that you walk around at and maybe cash a little check? What's good, Cali Gold? What's good? Yeah, so far the highlight to me has been the commission suggesting that Valentina Shevchenko put her hand down, and she just said, "Nah, I'm good. I'm sticking with this pose right here." But let's see overall what we got. We did have our backup to make weight, but we have not seen either of our headliners just yet in Jon Jones or Ciryl Gane. Alexa Grasso was first to the scale. Her and the champ Valentina Shevchenko 124.5, so that fight is official. Shavkat Rakhmonov came in at 171. Still waiting on Jeff Neal. Mataush Gamrot, Jalen Turner, both official. They were just the last ones in our first break there. And Jamie Pickett is in, but we're still waiting on Bo Nickal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 fighters off the top. But not our headliners. Yeah. Scott McCrae, bullet don't play. I thought that was hilarious. She didn't even flinch. She didn't even listen to the suggestion. Nope, I'm good. Joe from H-Town in the house. What's going on, brother? Always good to see you. Yeah, Zach. Heavyweights. Well, it's interesting, right? Because, I mean, normally when we're doing like fight nights, you know the heavyweights are going to be last because they got to do the face-offs right afterwards, right? So, like, why come down at 9, weigh in, and then have to sit around for an hour and a half, 2 hours because you got to you do the face-offs afterwards. Now, here, when you got ceremonial weigh-ins happening, technically the heavyweights could show up and they could go back to their hotel room, but you got to consider they're going to be fighting late tomorrow night, so why wake up early? So, yeah, around these parts, we like to label that as the Andrei Arlovsky clause because he was the first one that, when we started doing these face-offs immediately after, he was the one that would always show up late. Andrei Arlovsky ain't coming in until 10:30. He's a veteran of the game. He understands it. He ain't coming in until like 10:30.
I'm sorry, too.
Oh, Colosseum, I did forget to ask about it. I did forget to ask about the strawweight title fight. T-Bone's in the house. Yeah, it was so funny. He's like, put your hand down. She didn't move her hand. He's just like, I'm good. Justin Villegas in the house. What's going on? Yeah, all is good. All is good. Love having a pay-per-view week. Just feels different. We were talking about it on the road show, the Cold Coffee this week. Like, there's no place I'd rather be on Saturday night than fights. But sometimes these Apex shows, they just get to be routine. I mean, I love the fact that I'm 15 minutes from my house, but it's just like going to the office. You know what I mean? Like, you're just going to work like you do every day or whatever. But man, when you get these pay-per-view weeks, I mean, A, the card is sick, but like B, that crowd yesterday at the press conference was electric, man. That excited me because I wasn't sure if people were still feeling Jon Jones. It's been so long. I was surprised over the years how many people were like, oh, that dude's not going to fight again. That dude's never going to fight again. I'm like, what? Yes, he is. What are you talking about? And I just wondered if maybe the energy around Jon Jones had kind of gone away. But, man, yesterday when he came out on that stage, unbelievable. Unbelievable energy in that building yesterday. It was cool. Oh, T-Bone, I meant to. And then I don't know what happened. I think I forgot. I was like Googling the locations and everything. And then I forgot. I need to go do that. Oh, yeah, Jude, 100%. Having Jones back, having Connor back. What a year this is shaping up to be. 2 weeks from now, another pay-per-view. I mean, no, granted, for your budget, that might not be a nice thing. But you know what kind of cards we get with pay-per-views. So, to have another title fight in 2 weeks, that's pretty awesome as well. That that crowd yesterday just got me thinking about what the audience is going to be like in London with Leon Edwards fighting for the title in London. I mean, that's going to be electric. I'm not making the trip over there because I'm actually going to be calling a fight in Moncton, Canada that day. So I'll be watching that one on TV. But it just got me excited about what that atmosphere is going to be like. Oh, thank you, Zach. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, for anybody that listens to the Road Show, or maybe you don't, but you just want to give it a shot. You know, myself and Cold Coffee, we chat every week. But this past week released this episode where I just bundled up all of my interviews that I was doing together. Figured why not put them out in whole in audio. Truthfully, I listen to a lot more audio than I watch video, so I was like, yeah, why not release it? So thank you. If you want to hear a bunch of interviews, go check it out. Ooh, Justin Villegas, come to Fresno. I've been to Fresno a couple times. It's been a while. I'll have to hit you up next time I'm out there. Yeah, 290. That was an obvious one, right? That was going to be International Fight Week, Las Vegas. I'll tell you something. This is a random thing, but it probably just boils down to me because being a dad. But I noticed on that press release for the UFC 290 International Fight Week is that at the expo, kids 12 and under get in free. And I thought that was cool, man, because, you know, obviously this is all about business and making money and et cetera, but I thought that was cool. Kids 12 and under get into the Fan Expo for free. So saves a little money for the family and also allows kids to maybe kind of plant that seed early in their lives, you know, those memories that maybe make them a fan down the line. So I thought that was cool. Aspinall's still recovering from injury. I think he'll be back this year. I know. You know, London would have been ideal, of course, but Aspinall's a smart dude, man. He realizes there's no reason to rush anything. He realizes the position that he's in. He realizes what's at stake, and he's going to make sure he's 100% before he's back. So we'll see him later this year. Oh, yeah. Got to get Blanchfield in New Jersey. By the way, I also heard actually, maybe I'm not supposed to say that.
My notepad ready.
Yeah, maybe I wasn't supposed to say that. But I heard they might be back to New Jersey later this year. Have you heard that one? Oh, it's been reported? Okay, cool. It's been out there. Okay, yeah. So even though the Prudential Center is happening as the pay-per-view, there actually might be a fight night at Boardwalk Hall later in the summer as well. So New Jersey fans, rejoice. You might get 2 shows. My man Aaron Bronstedt over here set me at ease. I didn't know that was good. I'm glad I didn't know that had been reported. Oh, Camden? Is that where it was? Oh, I heard it was Boardwalk Hall. Oh. I was like, damn it. I was like, did I get the wrong one? Aaron Bronstedt reporting there will be fights in the streets of Camden, New Jersey all day, every day. Sneak you in the media section. Yeah, tickets are expensive, man. There's no question about it. It's tough. That's that demand. I mean, supply and demand, right? When it's something's popular, prices get to go up a little bit. So, looking forward to getting to Miami. South Florida, always good. Darren Till. Yeah. Richard Naga, we talking about that one. Darren Till. Yeah. Listen, I think Darren Till's at an interesting point in his career. I mean, you know, obviously everybody kind of freaked out when he was released by the UFC, but, you know, he came out and said right away, I asked for that, and I completely believe that. And I think it's a smart move for Darren Till right now. You know, there's a lot of things that this opens up for Darren Till, right? Number one, you're not under USADA anymore. And I'm not saying that he's trying to cheat, but a guy that's dealing with injuries, man, to be able to just take whatever the doctors say is best for you and not have to worry, well, does this apply to the guidelines, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If that's what it takes to heal, I mean, you think about all that he's been through, it's smart. I mean, it's the, like I always remember when Anderson Silva broke his leg at 40 years old and, he got busted for cheating. And I'm like, yeah, just come out, like, don't make an excuse. Just be like, bro, I'm 40 years old. I broke my leg, and I took some extra stuff because, I didn't know how this thing was going to heal. So, anyway, roundabout story is like, I applaud. If that's what Darren Till's doing, good. Plus, also heard that he has an interest in boxing. Obviously, you're not going to box if you're under contract with the UFC. And thirdly, maybe you can just take some fights that aren't with the top 15 dudes in the world in your weight class and get some confidence back. Just get some feel back. So, I think we might see Darren Till again, man. I hope we see Darren Till again at the UFC level. But if not, he can still be successful in other places. There's a lot of places to make a paycheck. All right, looks like everybody's getting back in place. Let's get another run of fights.
Copy that, Zach. Esteban, first fight.
Hold on. Mark Ratner's up there. That's a little concerning. Like, there's not a lot of reason for Mark Ratner to be talking to Jeff Mullen.
All right, next fighter to weigh in the lightweight division, making the start for the first fight of the night, live on ESPN Plus and UFC Fight Pass, Esteban Dribovic. $156, the official weight for Esteban Dribovic.
That was it? Just one?
All right, next fighter to the scale, one half of the feature prelim live on ESPN. He's the former undisputed UFC bantamweight champion, Cody No Love Garbrandt. $136, the official weight for Cody Garbrandt. All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in a prelim on ESPN in the middleweight division, top 5 ranked contender, Derek Brunson. $185.5, the official weight for Derek Brunson.
All right, so we've got a few more. Let's get another break. Still waiting on our headliners, Jon Jones and Ciryl Gane, which, look, I'm interested to see Jon Jones on the scale. I mean, he's already admitted, he doesn't have the six-pack, not in the previous form that he has. And we've seen the pre-fight photos that have gone around, but there's a little something different about seeing somebody in person versus, looking at an image. Oh, hold on. Looks like Annex back. I thought we were going to have a little break, but hold on. Oh, no. Looks like we may be going quick. Oh, Josh, man, I appreciate that. No, thank you for that. Yeah. I'm going to keep doing that. I appreciate that feedback. I like putting out little clips of interviews, but no, I just enjoy the full conversation. So thank you, bro. T-Bone. Let's hope nothing crazy. Maybe they were just talking about, who knows? Who knows what they were talking about, but it was just weird to me. You're just looking for those things that seem a little bit out of place, right? Like last week when I saw Mark Smith come over and talk to Bruce Buffer, and I'm like, why is a referee talking to an announcer? And then 10 seconds later they were announcing the main event was off. So yeah, you just kind of look at those things. He's like, hey, that doesn't look normal. Is something about to happen? Cody Garbrandt, man, I said it on the podcast, but I'll say it to everybody that's here too, man. If you didn't watch his pre-fight media scrum from the media day, man, go check it out, man. Pretty powerful dude. I think one of the most humble times we've ever seen Cody Garbrandt, and one of the most straight, honest about stuff, man. Like, didn't allude to anything, just came out straight and was like, man, my life was in shambles. I went through a divorce. I had to sell my house. I had to, just owned everything and was transparent on everything. It was pretty powerful. Gross, I appreciate you. Yeah, I always feel weird doing that, the shameless plug. I'm the worst at that. Bruce Buffer's a buddy of mine, man. Buff, he's always like, you got to promote yourself more. I'm like, Yeah, by the way, they're after the official weigh-ins are over, they're gonna they've got 2 different 50 test presentations that will be happening. So I don't know who they are yet, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if that's been publicized. I haven't heard of this. Hey, Kenny, do we know who it is? We just know there's 2. There's 3? But, okay. 3? I thought it was 2. 3?
She said 3.
Okay.
Well, she said 2, and then she said maybe.
Depending if he wants to hang around or not. I got it. Okay. So it sounds like maybe there's 3, actually. It sounds like Henry Cejudo is one of the 50 times. Hearing Derek Brunson is one of the 50 times. But the reason I tell you the story, because not this is the most important information, but when I got here this morning, a PR representative told me, hey, FYI, just so you know, Jeff Nowitzki is going to be making a presentation. And I'm not going to lie to you, for a split second, I got really scared. I'm like, Jeff Nowitzki talking on a Jon Jones fight week. Uh-oh. And he was like, no, it's a 50-time presentation. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, T-Bone, exactly, right? There you go. Let's see if I scroll back. See if I missed anything from earlier. Hold on, I'm going to scroll back a little bit. Oh, Drew McLaren talking about physique engaging. Yeah, bro. Like I said, I'm scrolling back a little bit, so I'm catching up. Oh, Zach was giving love the weekly conversation. Appreciate it. Maybe I saw that. I didn't see the physique Gaethje talk though. Oh, the feedback post interview. Yeah, appreciate that. Ooh, I have not heard. I was seeing grocery here, rather Chi-Town. I have not heard any rumors about that. Brown said, "Yeah, I heard Chicago. Have you? Have you heard Chicago? No, have you heard anything about Chicago? No. Yeah, no, I haven't heard. I love Chicago too, especially during summer, not during winter. Not during winter. Well, you don't care. You're from Canada. You're good. Yeah. Yeah. Nah. Oh, Miami's gonna be awesome. Yeah. Nah. Ask my man Aaron Bronster. He hadn't heard any in Chicago either. So unfortunately, no. Would love to go back there though. Go hang out with my man CM Punk, but it's got to be during Chicago, or it's got to be during summer. There's just not enough dates. Yeah, just not enough dates available. I'd love to go back there in summertime though. It's a really cool town to walk around, but during wintertime it sucks. Mark Fellows in the house. Yeah, I think he grossy. Dude, see, what are we doing here? There's more. Now Ratner's talking to Anik, and Niner's there. Shit, it's not in my shot. Just off to the left. I don't. Well. Maybe they're all just shooting the shit. They might be just talking about some sports. So it's Radner and yeah, they look like they're just chatting. It's Radner and Niner, who's the stage manager, but they're all like big sports fans. Niner used to play pro hockey. Mark Ratner runs the clock at the Thomas and Mack Center for basketball games. This dude, he's done like high school football, college basketball. Mark Ratner's the man. What's going on, John Anik? How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
How are you,
man? Been a while.
Yeah.
Big fight week. Hey, electric yesterday. Was. All right, we're back to work.
All right, next fighter to weigh in, former world title challenger in the UFC strawweight division, Jessica Penne. $116, the official weight for Jessica Penne. All right, next fighter to the scale, charged with kicking off the pay-per-view main card in the middleweight division, making his UFC debut, Bo Nickal. $185.5, the official weight for Bo Nickal.
You know how you know Bo Nickal's big time? John Anik gave him a T-shirt. In his debut.
One more sleep shirt, commemorate the debut, you know.
I mean,
The only debut.
bro, you get a One More Sleep T-shirt in your UFC debut. I mean, might as well just give him a Hall of Fame right now. I do have one.
Do you have the Dallas one?
No.
I'll get you the
Oh,
Dallas one.
give me
That's
the
the
Dallas
best
one,
one
dog.
we've done. It's the
Yeah?
Dallas one. It's just the star. It's the best
Oh,
one.
you gotta give me one of those.
Nothing with Dallas is the best. Let him fool with that conversation.
Go on, have it in Chicago. Go on out here.
We get the first round draft pick. I'm just, that's what happened to me. The worst worst team in the league. You get the first round.
You get the first pick. You get the first
Beat
pick.
that.
You get first because you last.
Right. So how about that? We're first because we're last.
I'd rather have that than an early bounce on the playoffs.
Oh, why you gotta do that?
First round draft pick than an early bounce on the playoffs.
Thank you. I like this man.
Okay.
I'm a Seahawks fan, so we got an early bounce on the
I like this
Oh,
man. My brother lives in Seattle. So. I went to the
Seahawks. That's who we were playing. We got the Romo snap. Oh, I remember.
You know how I feel about that.
Somehow, me talking about Bo Nickal turned into everybody talking shit about the Dallas Cowboys. What's going on around here? Oh. All right, one more sleep merchandise. Available only at millions.co. John Anik, millions.co for the one more sleep, right? Millions.co?
That's right.
Millions.co for the one more sleep. If you want that special commemorative edition that Bo Nickal just got, head on over to millions.co.
Well, now that
Gross, you just made me legit laugh out loud. He said, give him a that's awesome. That's awesome. Now listen, in all seriousness, man, look, I don't know what you guys think about Bo Nickal, but to me, man, he passes the eye test. This dude looks like the real deal. I mean, dude, the wrestling pedigree is there. The athleticism is there. The confidence is there. Obviously the striking game is evolving. I'm not trying to look at his early career knockouts and say that he's some kind of, striking killer or what have you. But the dude is a phenomenal athlete. I think his mom was actually a boxer. So it's not as if he's not familiar with throwing hands a little bit. But he looks like the real deal to me. Now, it's a deep division. I don't know that you can anoint somebody a champion right away, but you can at least say, hey, that's somebody that I think will contend at some point in their career. But he looks like the real deal to me. But it's been interesting to me to see how many people have been really upset that he's on the main card.
Right.
But come on, man. Of course he's on the main card. He's the he's the hype right now. You want to put him behind a paywall, right? You want to make people pay that $75. So one more frosty beverage merchandise. We definitely need some of that. Justin Villegas, Raider Nation. Obviously, man, Las Vegas resident now. I wouldn't want to say the Raiders like my second team. I hate when people say I got a second team. I feel like that's if you're born somewhere and raised somewhere and they have a team, like you have to have that like that's your team. Like this is my rule. If you grew up in a place that didn't have a team, you can pick a team. But if you have a team in your home area, that's your team. You can't pick another team. So the Raiders, I do watch them. If the Cowboys aren't on, I'll watch the Raiders. Just because, stadium's like 15 minutes from my house. I've been living here for 15 years. But Cowboys is home, man. Cowboys is home. Bo Nickal versus Joe Pyfer. Petrosky, that's a good one. Grocery. I don't like football anymore. Heidi Dean was just talking about that. She was like, hey, we got the first pick because our team sucks. Exactly, Grocery. That's it. That's your team. You don't get to pick another team. But see, Richard, you were probably, like, if you're born and raised and then you get an expansion team. Now, see, that's an interesting dilemma that I haven't considered before. If you're from an area and if you're from an area and you pick a team and then you get an expansion team, you're not required at that point. You're grandfathered in at that point. You're good, Richard Noggin. You're grandfathered in. Yeah, see, now Richard knocking out. See that you're a Cowboys fan. You definitely don't have to take the Panthers.
That's okay. I should probably cover it. You're good.
All right, let's get back to business.
It's all behind you. That's why I put everything back here and not.
All right, next fighter to weigh in the bantamweight division, Farid Basharat.
$136.
136, the official weight for Farid Basharat.
Mark Fellas, I buy it. Thank you, baby. T-shirt. We got to get Heidi Dean on millions.co. All right, so yeah, I just considered the expansion rules thing even further. So I was born and raised in Dallas. The Stars came when I was about 15 or 16. The Dallas Stars came to town, and I definitely did adopt them right away. And then I got to go to their Stanley Cup parade and all that, so that was cool. But then, like, I live in Vegas now, and the Golden Knights came to town. Now, I'm not like the biggest hockey fan, but I'll watch some Golden Knights. If there was a Golden Knights game on or a Dallas Stars game on, and that was all that was on TV, I'll be honest with you, I'd watch the Golden Knights game. I'd watch the Golden Knights games because that's where I live currently. So, yeah, the expansion teams or the relocated teams, that kind of changes the rules a little bit. I think that gives you options. But if when you were born in town, there was already a team there, that's your team, dog. That's your team. Yeah, Basharat, dude. Farrett, Javid, I think those dudes are legit, man. Excited to see that one. Honestly, man, this card, I really, usually you can look at a card and you can see one fight or two fights where you're like, But I think we're in for some entertainment tomorrow night, man. I look at this card and I see, do you know what I mean? Like, look at a fight like Mana Martinez, Cameron Simon. That could be banging, I think there's a lot of really entertaining matchups on this. Brunson Duplessis, I'm excited about that fight. That's the one that I see a lot of people saying, hey, that should have been on the main card over Bo Nickal. But, again, Bo Nickal's got the hype around him. You want to put him behind a paywall. Justin, you can't boo the Cowgirls. Come on, man.
I know.
You bring up an interesting point, Joe from H-Town. Cold coffee. Mark Fellows was like, hey, has CC's best friend Val weighed in yet? Yeah, she was off the top. She was number 2. Yeah. In this week's edition of the Rose Show, for some reason, Cold Coffee just started calling Valentina Shevchenko Val, which I've never heard anyone in the history of ever call her. Like, they're just hanging out. But nah, Joe from H-Town. So you asked an interesting question, right? Because now, all right, when you say a former drug addict, when you say Jon Jones, and I know you're not a big Jones fan, getting lit. But, lit is kind of that casual slang word, right? Where you don't necessarily mean, like, getting, like, fucked up. You're just talking about, like, hey, that's lit. I don't use that in my terminology, but I don't think that necessarily means, being under the influence of anything. More just like, hey, we're having a good time. We're partying. It's lit. That's lit. That's lit. So I don't think it was meant necessarily in that fashion. To be honest with you, when I was driving into the press conference, I was actually thinking about that. I'm like, man, I wonder if Jon Jones is having an after party. Like, Las Vegas is not good for him. I wonder if he's just better off going back to his room. But I think maybe there was a different way of asking the question of being like, hey, John, are you, I didn't know he already had an after party planned, but are you planning to have an after party, or at this point, is it better to just go back and hang out in your room or whatever? Maybe that's a more serious way of asking or whatever, but yeah, I wasn't offended by it, but I do see your point. And ultimately, I decided not to ask that question because I was like, come on, man, is that really relevant? Does that really matter? So, but it is an interesting question, right? I mean, the last time he was in Vegas, he got in trouble. Or at least the last time he was in Vegas for a public function. Maybe he came for one of his brother's games or something, and I wasn't aware of it. But so it's valid, but it's also I want to put this as delicately as possible, but I am not a fan of the media being personalities so much. I feel like, and I don't mean that as any disrespect to any individual person, but I'm not a fan of us being characters, I guess. And I'm not directing that at any one person. I don't know. I feel like we're there to cover the sport, not be part of the sport. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw it and I was just like rushing over. Wait, I was talking with you, I think. I think we were talking.
I don't mean it as an attack, but I'm just saying. I know you're I know Aaron Bronstedter's a professional. Bro, y'all should see what Aaron Bronstedter's like in real life, dog. He's playing this character like, dog, he takes the glasses off, he gets wild. He tries to be this polite Canadian, but when he's not on camera, he's a wild man. He's a wild man. I guess what I think is you're one or the other. You're either a media member or you're a personality. That's what I think. I think it's okay to be whichever one you want to do. Whatever it is you want to do it. Like, I'm not saying there's not space for both, but I think it's hard to toe the line and be both. Like, how can you be entertainment but also serious about news? I struggle with that. Meanwhile, as I say that, I'm watching Oscar Willis's computer over here, and he's got the pre-fight show pulled up, and I see DC eating a burrito or something. I don't know what we got going on here. So, yeah, what do I know? The lines are blurred, I guess, at this point. Yeah, Bronstedter's always the one like, dog, we going to the strip club tonight or what? And I'm like, no, we got work tomorrow. And he's like, dog, come on, man. Like, bottles on me. And it's hard, man. We have to pull him away from the clubs. I will tell you a funny story in Bronstetter. So for Valentine's Day this year, my wife's like, hey, what are we doing? And I'm like, unfortunately, we can't do anything on Valentine's Day because I have to work. And she's like, you have to work? I'm like, she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm calling an event. And she's like, you're calling an event? What kind of event? It's on a Tuesday. And I'm like, well, it's lingerie fighting championship. So I was like, I can't do Valentine's Day with you because I'm calling lingerie fighting championship. She was like, all right, well, whatever. She's like, where's it at? And I'm like, well, it's at Sapphire's. It's a Sapphire strip club. So she's like, hold on. My husband on Valentine's Day is going to the strip club. And I'm like, yeah. It's for work. So that's enough. But then I have two sets of keys for my car, and one of them doesn't work properly. It doesn't lock. And so that's the one I grabbed accidentally, and I drove to the strip. So basically, I couldn't lock my car, and I was a little worried about leaving it in the parking lot unlocked while I was working for several hours, just because, like, what happens, right? So I had to call my wife and ask her to drive the proper key to the strip club on Valentine's Day because I had messed up and grabbed the wrong key. And so she had to, obviously we have a kid, we don't have family here, so my wife had to bring my kid to the strip club on Valentine's Day to drop off my car keys. And I just want to share that with you because I felt I felt pretty bad about it, but I was like, this is life. This is life.
We should do stuff on Valentine's Day. I don't think God would do anything with that.
What? A romantic like you? It is a Hallmark holiday. My wife's very big about days, though. Like, you know, you got the love languages and stuff. My wife is like, honor the days, give me like gifts. Not like they don't have to be expensive, but just no. But I agree with you. I don't even, like even my birthday. I don't know, fuck it. Who cares? You know what I mean? Not my wife though. She cares.
His birthday's important.
Oh, important. Important.
I'll get you. People always say, "What are you doing for your birthday?" Nothing. Living.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
There's a big couple.
I spent a few of my birthdays in London. My birthday's coming up in 2 weeks. It was always like around that March card in London. It was always, yeah. So I spent a few of my birthdays in London.
I wanted to see if everyone thought they tasted it.
Oh.
They did not let the boy. Grocery was funny. So my wife pulls up in the car, and my kid just has these wide eyes. And my kid is awesome, dude. He's turning 11 in May, but he just had this like wide-eyed look on his face, and he looks at me and he goes, "I have seen some things." Because Sapphire, if you've ever been to Vegas, is down on Industrial, which is just like a row of like strip clubs and sex shops and liquor stores and billboards and whatever else. But he pulls up and he's like, "I have seen some things." Speaking of seeing some things, Jeff Mullen is back at the scale. A lot of cameras in place. Maybe we're getting closer to the main event. I was just kidding, by the way, Miss Bronstetter. Aaron's a very well-behaved gentleman. MPTV, what's going on?
Microplastics for all.
Ron Swanson. Think Jones comes in.
That tastes good.
Aaron Bronstetter, who's going to be heavier, Jon Jones or Ciryl Gane? I think so too. Aaron's like me. I think Jones is going to be heavier than Gane. Yeah, nothing big, but just I'm seeing a lot of activity, I feel like.
All right, next fighter to weigh in, the number 8 ranked contender in the UFC flyweight division, Viviane Araujo. .126, the official weight for Viviane Araujo.
I know you guys are a little hungry, but don't you realize how my flavors?
All right, well. It felt like some anticipation was building, but we'll see. All right, so for the record, as far as the main card is concerned, we're still waiting on Jeff Neo, but we're still waiting on both of our headliners, Jon Jones and Ciryl Gane. Outside of that, we're just waiting on Ian Machado Gary, Mana Martinez, and Damon Blackshear. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 6 left to weigh in at this point. 2 of them are quite important individuals in that they're our headliners, and Jon Jones and Ciryl Gane. Obviously, neither of them cutting weight to be at the limit, so they're just sleeping in, enjoying a little coffee. Ciryl Gane's having a croissant. That was terrible. That was terrible. Money Tree, what's going on? Appreciate you guys joining. It's funny because on pay-per-views especially, I'm like, I kind of thought about it last night. I was like, why am I going to live stream, bro? We got people watching ESPN. We got BT Sport. We got, these larger outlets out there. It's different when it's like a fight night and maybe we're the only one doing it. But I thought, nah, you know what? I'm not doing it for the views. I'm doing it because I enjoy chatting with you guys. Otherwise, I'm just sitting here. What am I doing? I enjoy chatting with you guys. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, grocery. I hope my kid didn't tell anybody at 10 years old that his dad took him to the strip club. It's funny, man. Like a Las Vegas kid growing up. I'm gonna be real interested to see like what my kid thinks of the strip and stuff. So for Christmas Eve, for like a Christmas present, basically, I guess, or just like a family outing. Like I bought tickets to go see Shin Lim at the Mirage, and then we went and had a steak dinner afterwards at Hugo Cellar, which is an awesome old school steakhouse. But anyway, we were walking through. I was surprised I didn't tell my family what they were doing. I was just like, hey, at 5 o'clock, y'all be ready, dress decent. We're going out. And didn't tell them what we were doing, kind of made a surprise for everybody. But we get to the Mirage and start walking through the Mirage. And, like, it's so funny because my kid, normally people walk through a casino, they're like, oh, whoa, look at all this. Da, da, da. My kid's just like, whatever. He's been in casinos his whole life since he was a little kid. So I'm kind of interested to see what he thinks about, like, when he gets legal drinking age or teenager, does he go out and hang out on the strip or not? So, kind of curious. Justin. I love me some Michael Dixon. Look at this guy. No. Don't tickle me. Don't tickle me. Don't tickle me. What's going on, bro?
Good, Aaron? Good, awesome.
Alex Davis in the house.
Alex Davis
in the house. How was Thailand? Tell him.
The worst things I've ever had. I had to decide because everybody's looking at somebody take a decision. I had to step up and play good. The coach said, man, his eyes are closed. He said, I can't see. If I let it, they'd let him back out.
How did the conversation go with Jon afterwards? Like, did he say anything?
He got a little bit, but then he talked to me and we talked over. He said, Alex,
that's what's hard, right? Because the fighter's like, you took something away from me, but I didn't. I tried to save you.
Dude, you got to be sensible. And if you would have gone back in there, it's actually better on all ends. First of all, everybody praised us for doing that. Second of all, if he would have gone out there in that fight the way he was, it would have been horrible. He lost that fight over a technical detail. He saw it, if you watch the fight, the first 2 minutes he was good. And then after every round, and that's because he went out there only 6 or 7 days before. He can't do it.
Whereas Fabricio lives there, so he didn't even have to travel.
So the Brazilian Olympic Athletic team sent the team to Australia, and they measured everything. People performed 30% below their performance rate. It took them 25 days to get back to normal. It's just science. It's normal. It is the truth. That's why we lost that fight. Because Jon, while he was...
He looked good.
While he was was healthy, he was kicking his ass, Well, it doesn't change much. No, I don't think it changes.
That's an interesting point because it's not round by round, so you're not down 4-0 or 3.
Well, so let think about it. So think about it. Nickal hit more. The harder shots were from Fabricio at the end of the rounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so how would you score it? I don't know. I thought we were winning, but you know what? Then there's something called motivated reasoning.
Of course, yeah. You're seeing your guy, yeah.
I was just talking about tomorrow, and you need to not trust yourself. So I don't know.
That's actually the reason like I won't bet on fights, because if I'm betting on fights, I now have a vested interest in that.
Fights because I'll put you in jail, motherfucker.
Well, now they will, but before they did, they never said anything.
You know what? We have an advantage.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, we have an advantage. I told you the guy that comes to the school is a professional bettor. Says, Alex, when I found that out, she gets a guy got an advantage of us. How's that thing going, buddy?
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll see you. Calling you tonight? Today?
No, kids got soccer game tonight, so be there Monday.
Okay, see you. No,
See you,
I was
bro.
talking about the wings.
Oh, no, I'm not even going to ceremonials. I'm going to go call Tough Enough. I got Tough Enough tonight, Sarah.
I need your help. I need to get rid of that fight.
Yeah. Well, I hit you back, but I think you were telling. You meant an MMA fight, right? He wants to fight MMA? What weight?
Amateur.
What weight?
Let's put him at, let me check with him today.
Okay. Hit me up. I'll give him a fight. Easy. That's easy. Yeah, for sure. You got it. You don't get that on the ESPN stream. You see what I'm saying? I mean, noted coach and manager Alex Davis just dropping by talking about that one championship fight between John Lineker and Fabricio Andrade. Phenomenal fight if you saw that. It was a great fight. If you haven't watched it, go watch the replay on Amazon Prime. It was a really, really good fight. But Alex waved it off before the start of the fifth round. And I had talked to him a little bit before this, too. I kind of wondered if Lineker had said something. But as it turned out, kind of everybody was like, what should we do? What should we do? And he just took it upon himself to call off the fight. Alex has been a good friend for many, many years. And my kid actually trains at a school that he opened up. He actually opened up a branch of ATT out here in Las Vegas, actually in Henderson, ATT, Nevada. But, man, he's one of the most sensible minds in the sport as well, man. So it's always nice to pick his brain. Yeah, money treat. I agree. Even though Alex is my good friend, I liked Fabricio coming to that fight as well. It's just the size difference between them, man. It's crazy. When you consider that he can match the striking, but he has that much range on him, that was always going to be a tough one. Cody Merrow has joined the chat. What's going on, my man? Yeah, we got some fun stuff. Working. Cody Merrow is doing good stuff for the UG behind the scenes. Much, much appreciated. All right, let me scroll up. I was missing a little bit while we were chatting. All right, let's see. Scott McCrate, does it reach 750,000 buys? I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big expert on buy rate prediction, but I will say this, man. The metric of public interest, based on what I saw at the press conference yesterday, now granted, that's all people that are already in here to watch the fights anyway, but, dude, that energy yesterday, and I watched it back last night. I was at home. Once I got done, I went home, and I watched it back to see if it came across. It was funny because John Anik even commented. He's like, it looked like it was amazing. The energy that came across on that broadcast was good, but it was nothing like being there. That was honestly an all-timer in terms of energy. So seeing that type of energy from people involved, it makes me feel like this is going to do good. But 750, that's a lot. That's a lot. It's a new era now. I think we were talking about this last week. I saw, I can't even remember what I was watching, but they were saying something about the NBA ratings right now, which I feel like the NBA is super popular. It's doing super well, but it's down 50% from, I can't remember if they said 10 years ago or 20 years. I think they said 20 years ago. But it just shows you how much things have changed, man. There's just so many things out there. There's so much content out there. It's tough. So we'll see. I am a lock to drink a frosty beverage at some point today. I'm going to go call Tough Enough tonight. So if you guys are chilling tonight after the ceremonial weigh-ins are over, flip on over to UFC Fight Pass. We're calling Tough Enough. It was supposed to be at the pool at the Sahara, which was going to be super unique, obviously. Outside, by they redesigned their pool super nice, and it's like the start of pool season is actually this weekend. All the pools around Vegas open up, so we were gonna have fights outside, but it's so damn cold here in Las Vegas, we couldn't do it. So we'll be inside at the Sahara Theater, which I believe is the same venue where the World MMA Awards were. It's kind of a last second change of venue, so we'll be on UFC Fight Pass tonight, calling some fights. Actually, Cody, you just reminded me of something that I need to go talk to my man Oscar Willis real quick. I think he may be fighting sooner than later, but I gotta ask him something. Actually, I'm going to do that later because it looks like we're about to get back to business. But Oscar wants to fight. Oscar wants to fight again, but only wants to. Oscar, what's your Oscar? Oscar, cold coffee. Hey. You'll only fight again if it's in Fight Circus, right? That's the plan? All right, so he's only fighting again if it's in Fight Circus. That's the only fight you'll take? I mean, they do crazy rules. But that's the only, like, they can't come up with some other crazy rule? Like, that's the only one. Okay, it has to be something crazy. All right.
Maybe like I could fight two of them on each other's shoulders and maybe code, something like that.
Ooh, I like that one. All right, so Oscar is willing to fight again, but it's got to be in Fight Circus, and it's got to be a crazy-ass fight. So maybe we're open to suggestions. Maybe we're open to suggestions for what kind of rules you want at Fight Circus for Oscar Willis to return. Lingerie fighting championship.
Then I started thinking I could like a little pocket knife or something.
The chat would like you to compete at Lingerie Fighting Championship, Oscar.
And they're like, dude, there are no Panthers in Florida. I'm like, dude, the hockey team is Florida.
Black sheep
Okay.
and meal.
All right, looks like we got some activity. Oscar got a good chuckle out of you guys suggesting he fight at Lingerie Fighting Championship. One arm tied phone booth match. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, come. Yeah. Come say hello.
Hello, chat. The ring card boy, I do wear leopard print. I was looking swell, yeah, not in a good way.
How about a grocery coming here with a one-arm tied phone booth match?
I wouldn't mind a phone booth match because it would end pretty quickly in either way.
Those are insane.
Yeah.
Those are absolutely insane.
What about we could do a power slap match but wearing like those massive inflatable gloves? That's so bad.
That'd be good. Like a big ass like Mickey Mouse hand over there. It's like,
Yeah, Mickey Mouse goes,
So what were we saying? You want to do 3 people tied together? They do 3 people tied
I
together?
wanted 3 people, I don't know what the PC term is, 3 vertically challenged people tied together, and I could just kick the one in the middle, and they'd all go fine. But maybe or
2 beers before each round.
100% love that. Or I'd like to do, maybe you could do like a bowl, because I spoke to that John Nutt guy, and I had loads of pictures, like fights, like sort of fights he could do, and he was like, this is crazy that you're offering these up. You could do a bowling ball match where one of you is in a big inflatable bowling ball, and then you have to fight 10 little people dressed as bowling balls.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Bro, you're about to be the Fight Circus matchmaker.
I would love to do it. He was like, you should go around Vegas making content for us. I was like, yeah, I could interview crackheads. And he was like, or strippers, you know, maybe start like, I just went a bit too hard, too fast. But, you know. Yeah. Pillow fights, how do you think about that?
Oscar Willis Fight Circus. It's happening for sure.
Or dress up as the, you know, the punch and rock and sock robots. You paint yourself blue, the other guy paints himself red, and you just have to fight like that.
But you can only throw like uppercuts. Like. All right.
It's like going up and down the aisles. All same weight class. It's like a Royal Rumble, but it's like in a grocery store.
I like that.
Yeah.
And just last man standing wins, basically.
Yeah, like you can run away. You can try to wait till the end.
Right.
Like you
Yeah.
got options.
What do you want to do? You want to take out all 10, or do you want to hide until?
Yeah. And then
Okay.
You could
I like that.
Can you use the groceries as weapons? Like, can you pick up a box of
No,
cereal?
I don't think so. No, I think it's more like just the format of a grocery store.
I like it.
There's no weapons. It's like it's still the same rules.
Power
apply.
stabs.
And there's a bunch of refs. There's like a bunch of like maybe 4 or 5 refs that are kind
They,
of
they
like
can,
watching.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
roaming.
They can, yeah, so
Yeah.
they can call off fights
Yeah.
or whatever. I like it. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
And maybe you make like the grocery aisles like, kind of like cages, like so you can like use them for takedowns.
Oh, now we're talking.
Make them so that
So
like things won't fall off.
we're gonna build a purpose-specific venue just for
Yeah,
this.
it's almost like it looks like a supermarket. So it has, like,
Right. Has like the aisles. Right.
Yeah. And there's like also like kind of like a bakery aisle in the back. Where you can hide.
We got genius happening around here.
Need that venture capital.
All right, John Annex back in the house.
All right, next fighter to weigh in the UFC's bantamweight division, Damon Blackshear.
$136.
136, the official weight for Damon Blackshear.
Marfel's in the chat. He's like, "Is that Aaron Bronster? I think I saw him at Spearmint Rhino last night." I told you that's why we call him.
One in Australia?
That's why. That's why we call him Strip Club Aaron, bro. He's just, you know. Oh, in the new Embedded, I'll have to go check that out. I did watch the 4th Embedded last night, I think.
Somebody who's not a police officer living in here. Only time. Mississauga.
I love it. Yeah, strip clubs in Toronto are good. Strip Montreal, good. It was good.
Montreal is considered the classic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. From what do you understand? I watched a documentary on it.
I produced a radio show where we used to do shows from Chez Parade in Montreal.
Oh.
And Cain Velasquez was on it. And I don't think he knew what Chez Parade was when we went to meet him outside and bring him in to be on the show. He was not impressed.
No?
Didn't look so.
That's unfortunate. Had you got him in a different light, he'd been good.
That was my first job at radio, was producing for a guy who had radio shows.
That's crazy. Would you have was there like a booth there or anything, or
We set up like equipment. We bring our remote equipment.
Yeah.
It was on satellite radio.
That's awesome.
It's the only time I've really ever been to strip club was producing radio. Producing.
You guys hear the story that he's saying? Aaron says he's only been to strip clubs producing radio. A likely excuse. That's awesome. Spearmint Rhino's good. We have now we have the peppermint hippo here, which is it's a real thing. So there's a chain of strip clubs that from what I understand, like South Park did an episode, and I've never seen the episode, and I like South Park, but I've never seen the episode. And they just came up with like the peppermint hippo, like as obviously a play on the spearmint rhino or whatever. And now there's an actual chain of strip clubs that launched using that name because of that, inspired by South Park.
We just started letting my son watch South Park.
Yeah? How old is he?
12.
12? It's dude, like the South Park movie I thought was hilarious, man. Spot on satire, but definitely adult theme. Yeah. That's fun.
He's 12. That's cheating.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much.
At this point. That's funny. All right. Zach, I'm filming a music video. So I went to the club to call lingerie fighting champion. It's work. Yeah, Cody Merrow, I saw that. What was Johnny on about that he got pissed off? I saw that video where Johnny had the $50,000 cash and was like, "Stop talking shit. Put your money up, etc." What was the genesis of that? Was somebody harassing him or what? Groshi, Johnny's teeth, the Val and John parlay. Nah, he posted a video, Groshi, where he was like, "Stop talking shit." Like he's like, if you know, if you want to get at me, like go open an account, put 50,000 in escrow. I got 50,000 right here. Oh, okay. Their social account with them. What the hell they go with Johnny for? That's weird. Richard Noggin. That's so funny. I'll tell you a funny story about super necessary. Is that I don't think I've ever used the word necessary in my life. Normally I would say needed. Oh, hold on. We'll get back to business, and then we'll continue on this. Ciryl gone. Damn, he looks in shape.
All right, next athlete to the stage, one of the men around whom this fight card was built, the former UFC interim heavyweight champion and now the #1 contender, Ciryl Gane. $247.5, the official weight for Bongama, Ciryl Gane.
Thank you, love.
Well done. One half of the main event is official. 247.5 for Ciryl Gane. Looked good to me. Not that there was any doubt that he was going to be prepared, but just makes it even more intriguing. Still waiting on Jon Jones. We'll find out who's heavier I think everybody's been kind of assuming around that 250 mark, so it's still possible that Jon Jones is heavier. You know, I love that face-off that they had yesterday at the press conference because, you know, I'd kind of pondered that the night before. Will he do his traditional, you know, look down at the ground? But I kind of had a feeling that his first heavyweight fight, he was going to look him eye to eye just to be like, hey, I'm right here with you. I'm not a light heavyweight. You're like, I'm just as big as you. And he did, and that made it electric. Got electric. Okay. Cody Merrill saying 240 max. Maybe comes in with some tracksuit pants on, a couple rolls of quarters in his pockets just to make him a little heavier. We'll see. But yeah, I thought it looked to be in great shape.
How are you?
Tired.
Yeah. It's going to be long.
Anxious too.
I agree with you, Cody Merrill. It seems like Jon Jones does. He seems like he's matured a little bit. It seems like he's a little more focused. But again, we have heard this. There's been a whole lot of reinvented Jon Jones over the years, but it feels legit to me. So we'll see. No, going back to the super necessary thing, it is funny because I didn't even realize that I had kind of forgotten that. Like I forget sometimes that I'm the one that asked the question that somebody gave an answer to that the quote came from. Like I never think about it that way. Like I just asked a question. The quote is theirs. Like it doesn't have shit to do with me. I just asked a question. But it is funny in that particular instance. It is part of my question because it's literally the exact word. But it's funny because I don't ever use the word necessary in my daily life. So it's really funny to be like, was that necessary? Like so much different to be like, did you need to do that? Yeah, I needed to do that. Then we don't get the quote, or you know. But was that necessary? Super necessary. Pretty funny. Stanley Tucci. Money Tree not liking Jon Jones. We'll see. All right, let me scroll back up. Yeah, gross. I'm thinking 250. We'll see. Manish miss. Manish saw you at the Bunny Ranch, but he said you were just asking for directions. So yeah, I'm telling you, that's why we call him Strip Club Aaron, man. He's like, bro, how'd I get out here to Pahrump, dude? What are we doing out here? I was on 160. I went west. I was supposed to be going east. My bad. Bro. Strip Club B. Strip Club AB. Just B. Strip Club B. That's what we call him. Been calling him that for years. Every time he comes to Vegas, brings the whole media crew. Joe, I saw your I remember your story from Dallas. Normally, I probably would have been at that, but when I'm in Dallas, I kick it with my family. It's funny because I meet people on the road, and then they come to Vegas, and they're like, bro, where you at tonight? And I'm like, well, I'm sitting on my couch with my family right now, cooking dinner, you know. So I don't really go out. And I'm kind of the same way in Dallas where, like, because when I'm in Dallas, I go see my mom and dad because they still live out there. But I heard about the infamous, it was the Lodge, if I remember right. That was a strip club where everybody was partying that night in Dallas, right? Which, I don't know if the Lodge is still the spot, but it used to be the spot. In fact, the Lodge was one of the places I had my bachelor party when I still lived in Dallas. All right, back to work.
All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in the UFC's welterweight division. He is undefeated. He is the future Ian Gary.
Thank
171, the official weight for Ian Gary.
you, guys.
Jon Jones is gonna come in at 10:59 just to fuck with us, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just dawned on me that Jon Jones is going to come in at 10:59. I mean, I assumed, look, the Andrei Arlovsky, rule is in effect for heavyweights, of course, which means around 10:30. But it's just dawned on me that he's going to come. Yeah. Who is this guy? We got to watch this. He's going to come in at 10:59 just to fuck with us. Cody Merrill, shout out to Paradise Cantina. I need to go to that place. I've never been there, man. I need to go check it out. I need to go holler at Ronnie. I'll tell you a funny story about Jon Jones. So in the history of my career, I've probably had about 3 interviews where the audio recording file got corrupted for some reason. And at that point, I feel like I can't, to me it's super necessary to get people's quotes right. It's I don't like to just kind of half-ass their quotes. I want to make sure it's word for word for word. So if anybody says you took me out of context or that's not what I said, I want to make sure it's word for word perfect. So I won't write an interview based off memory, hoping I get the quotes right. But anyway, one of those 3 or 4 that got corrupted was Jon Jones before his UFC debut. Andre Guzman, UFC 87, spoke to him on the phone. This was so long ago, I wasn't even in Vegas yet. I was still living in Ohio, and spoke to him on the phone. Tried to transfer the file from the recorder to my computer, got corrupted. I had to call him back and be like, bro, I know this is embarrassing to me, but I lost the entire interview. Do you mind doing it again? And he was like, absolutely, let's do it again. And it actually ended up being, I think, a better interview because I didn't really know who he was. He was making his UFC debut. I'd heard about him. I had people that told me, they were like, bro, you need to talk to this guy. He's going to be somebody. And but I didn't know a whole lot about him. I'd seen just little clips. I hadn't even watched a full fight of his yet. I had just seen highlights and didn't know a ton about him. But doing the interview a second time, I feel like I had a better understanding of who he was. But it was so cool because he was like, yep, let's do the interview again, no problem. And yeah, that was cool. It was kind of weird, of all the people it could be, it ends up being the dude that a lot of people consider the GOAT, and I do. I consider him the greatest of all time. I know a lot of people don't like him because of everything that happened outside the cage, but for my audio to get fucked up, but for him to be more than willing to go do the interview again, I thought that was pretty cool. Joe, remembering back. Yeah, it might have been my kid's birthday. I can't remember. I think we did go out there on my kid's birthday one time. Yeah, Cody, I got to go out there. I got to go check it out. I think it's on the east side, right? It's just on the east side of the strip. I need to go out there. I need to go check it out. Home of the road show. Set up a little corner booth or something. Me and my man Cold Coffee, we need a new spot. All right, 10:28 at this point, so still a little over 30 minutes remaining. Just for anybody that's wondering, who's left to weigh in. We're still waiting on Mana Martinez. We're still waiting on Jeff Neal. And we're still waiting on Jon Jones. We did have, of course, our alternate weigh-in. Sergey Pavlovich is official should he be needed. That doesn't seem like it would be necessary. Obviously, Jon Jones isn't cutting weight down here. But FYI, he is official. Cody, that's funny. That would be funny to see him get the towel just because.
Hi, how are you? Good.
That would be pretty damn funny. Joe, I have not heard of DC and Jon Jones doing a one-on-one. I know that Jon kind of buried the hatchet, but I don't think he wants to bury it that far. I don't think he wants to sit down and do a one-on-one with him. Oh, look at Henry Cejudo's here with this kid right here in front of me. Look at this guy. What's going on?
I'll be a last-minute replacement.
You would jump in? You fight for the heavyweight title?
Why not?
I mean, come on.
You have to be 207. You're 207 today.
You bring John Morgan with me.
Let's go. We got
Put
this.
John Morgan in my pocket. And,
Go above 266.
I mean, the two of us together.
You and I together.
What's going
Put her on
on?
the scale.
America.
Hi, how are you? Ano para português? Português? Qual o seu nome?
What's up, John? Man, great to see you. What's up, honey?
Ai, gente.
Vou atrapalhar uma
I mean, those are the kind of pop-ins you only get on the UG, baby. MixedMartialArts.com. Get a little Henry Cejudo step in with Baby America.
Yeah. It gives me attention. It's only because I love you, bud. He actually listens to me, though.
Now Ortega will have to hold his hand.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right, here we go. Back to business. Ortega. Brian Ortega, apparently the other person we were trying to hear earlier, will be getting his 50-time jacket today.
So, I'm being told. You got everybody on weight.
Yeah. Ready to go?
Say bye, fans. 5'6" giant.
Henry, can I get a picture of you with this?
Right there, JT. 1, 2.
Nice. Yeah, no, the whole thing about Jon Jones interesting because those changes that were made in 2019. So everybody started focusing on them because I think most people didn't realize it happened or didn't remember them at the time. But the stuff about the USADA changes, that was nothing new. It was done in 2019. And it's funny because, well, it looks like we're going to get... Yep, here we go. Mana Martinez, yeah.
All right, next fighter to the scale competing in the bantamweight division, Mana Martinez.
Hey, Mama.
137 for Mana Martinez, 1 pound over the bantamweight limit.
So weird. All right, so Mana Martinez, 1 pound over. Interesting because he didn't bother to get behind the box. Interesting because he has technically another 27 minutes. But you never know if that's like a medical thing. Sometimes the team will call off the weight cut. Sometimes doctors may call off the weight cut. So we'll find out if he's getting an extra hour or not.
Mana Martinez will not be attempting to cut that final pound. Official weight 137 pounds.
And there you have it. Will not be cutting any additional weight. 1 pound over. Interesting. We'll have to hear the story behind that. because again, he did have 27 minutes. He could have gotten behind the box, but didn't. All right, that takes us down to Jeff Neal and Jon Jones. And I'm guessing that Jon Jones is going to wait for Jeff Neal to go in first. Just a minute. Jon Jones is going to be last. David, appreciate those kind words, brother. Much love to you out there in the Netherlands. Very cool of you to say that. Thank you. Yeah, the whole picogram thing is really interesting. Like when you talk to Jeff Nowitzki about it, and looks like we're gonna get back to business again. Is this Jon Jones? Is it Jeff Neal? But when you hear them talk about it, it is pretty interesting to hear. And Jeff is a stand-up dude. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh, Jeff's this. No, he's a stand-up dude, man. You talk to him off record, like he's passionate about this stuff. But you know, the whole picogram thing, it is pretty wild. Where it's like, you know, 1/1,000,000,000 of a percent. It's pretty crazy. All right, hold on. Jeff Mullins here, so we'll hold off on this. Is it Jeff Neal? Is it Jon Jones? All right, as he walks off, I'll just say real quick, Jeff Nowitzki is talked about that it's like the tests are almost too sensitive, like too sensitive. I mean, that is really, I mean, it's become like a cliche at this point, or almost like a goofy thing. Like if I throw 1 grain of salt in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, they could detect. But think about that. I mean, like literally think about that. A grain of salt in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and you can detect it. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know, it's funny, Mark Fellas. I know you're joking around, but there is interesting discussion. I mean, obviously, I lived through the whole TRT era and all that. Where it is an interesting discussion, right? Like, if you can help somebody extend their careers, you know, should you? You know, look at Darren Till, for instance, Conor McGregor, these horrific injuries. If there's things that can better help them heal and better keep them healthy, is it okay? But it's that slippery slope of, okay, well, if this is allowed, you know, what does the extra amount allow you to do? And people are always going to cheat. I mean, that's just the reality of life. Is if you make one little bit okay, you just got to understand that people are going to cheat the system. Gane over Johns is the biggest upset in UFC history. It's a good question, but the fact that it's at heavyweight changes it, right? Like, if it was, you know, a light heavyweight fight, but to me, it wouldn't be one of those biggest upsets. I mean, the idea of Ciryl Gane beating the GOAT, wow, that's crazy. But when you consider that, like, John's moving up a division to a new weight class, he hasn't fought in 3 years, et cetera, then it loses its idea as, like, a biggest upset. You know, like, to me, I mean, Matt Serra beating GSP, like, dude, nobody saw that coming. No one saw that coming. Here, you can actually see it coming. Like, there's a path to victory for Ciryl Gane, no question about it. So, I don't think it'd be, like, the biggest upset in UFC history. But as far as just, like, shocking in terms of, like, what it means to John, like, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Cody. Dane actually talked about that back in the day. Like, he actually, if you go back to that time, he mentioned that he was going to petition the NSAC. So he spoke about that recently, but that had actually been covered, but it was years and years ago. All right. Looks like maybe we're getting back to it. 2 left.
All right, next athlete to the stage, the man around whom this fight card was built, the former UFC light heavyweight champion, making his heavyweight debut, Jon Bones Jones. 248 pounds, the official weight for Jon Jones. And with that, your UFC heavyweight title fight is now official.
.248, so just under that 250 limit, but a half a pound heavier than Ciryl Gane. So he did come up just a little bit heavier. One more with Jeff Neal.
Dude, I know, bro. Didn't even introduce himself. Yeah. Poor
All right, sorry, I had to get those little posting on there. You got to do a little social media, get that picture up. Jon Jones at heavyweight is official, 248. Ceremonials at 4 o'clock. Joe from H-Town's cheering for Jon Jones. What? Where's this world coming to?
Quick update on Mana Martinez. He will forfeit 30% of his fight purse. Second infraction as far as missing weight in the UFC for Mana Martinez.
Wow. 30% deduction for Mana Martinez. And now you go back again and you say, you had 27 minutes. You didn't get behind the box. I like Mana Martinez, but man. But again, you know, if his health was an issue, your health is worth more than 30% of your purse. But that's a pretty steep infraction. Ceremonials at 4 p.m. Pacific. Just waiting on Jeff Neal. Scott McCrate, thank you, brother. Always appreciate your support. Mark Fellows, throw some Triple C in there if Neal can't make it. He said he was ready to go to heavyweight. I don't know if you guys could hear it or not, but Triple C was yelling from the back, greatest ever, no doubt about it. He was doing the hype man routine back there for Jon Jones. Yeah. It's funny, right? I said he was going to come in with pants on, put some rolls of quarters in his pocket. You're 100% right. He's like, I got to weigh a half pound more. Got to weigh more. Michael Zegner, could you get I'm scrolling back a little bit. Could you get a USADA level drug test beforehand? Yeah, you could, definitely. You could pay for it, but it would be expensive. It's not cheap. I think it's like, I want to say, I think like the USADA level test is around like $1,800, if I remember right. Which, I mean, all right, here we go.
All right, our final athlete to weigh in this morning, competing live on pay-per-view, the number 7 ranked welterweight contender in the world, Jeff Hands of Steel Neal.
Read.
Oh, I am so sorry.
$175, the official weight for Jeff Neal, 4 pounds over the welterweight limit.
That's not good. Well, speaking of, again, prioritizing health over losses, obviously he's dealt with some really serious stuff in the past, so let's find out. We'll keep the stream up. I mean, there's no way they're going to let him continue to cut, so that's going to be the end of the weight, but I got to imagine it. 4 pounds, I got to imagine that's 30%. Richard Noggin, no face.
And that will be the official weight for Jeff Neal. He is done cutting.
Hey, we need John at the interview area.
Say it again?
He's running out. Annex to interview with John.
Oh, yeah, we got our presentations as well.
That's fine. We don't need John. It's,
No, they're doing an interview with him.
okay.
They need Annex.
Yeah. What's his name doing this? Yes.
Yeah, no, he's had a ton of health issues, and you can understand why Jeff wouldn't want to continue the cut, but nevertheless, not a great look. Yeah, 100%. Mark Fellows, thank you, brother.
Was it about work? Yeah, has it got some gig?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Nowitzki. I've got Donna Marcolini with me here, and together we oversee the UFC's anti-doping program, which is independently administered by USADA. It's been a minute since we've done one of these, but we have these perfect test history recognition programs, and we got 3 of them today, 3 real legends of the UFC over the last 8 years. First one, Derek Brunson. Derek's actually got 51 perfect test history. You know, I say all the time, in order to be successful in this program, you have to be engaged. You're responsible for where you are every day of the year, and you're responsible for everything that goes into your body. And I was looking at my phone earlier. Our text message string goes on and on and on. It's you asking questions about supplements, over-the-counter medications, whereabouts. And so Derek's a great example of it takes hard work to be successful under this program. And at the same time, he's very successful as an athlete too. So congratulations, Derek. It's a pleasure working with you.
This one here? Right here? For a couple? And then up here at Michael Big and then wherever you want to after that. Yes. Congratulations. Nice.
All right, our next UFC legend, Brian T. City Ortega. Brian, UFC career, he's grown up under this program. All but one of his fights is under this program. And for those of you who don't remember, it's not too long ago where he came within a whisker of submitting the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And he did it all the while being successful under this program. It's been a pleasure working with you, and thank you very much for everything you do. A role model to not only young UFC fighters, but to fans, young kids. So thanks for everything you do with this program.
Right here. And then up there, just pick one for me real quick. And then. Don't mean to sound like that, but it's too many other cameras. For me to point all the other ones out.
Last but not least, Triple C, Henry Cejudo. Henry's got a unique story because in addition to the UFC program, Henry is an Olympic USA wrestler, gold medalist, was under the USADA program previous to the UFC. So all combined, Henry has 82 perfect test history under the USADA program. So not only does Henry get our 50-time jacket, presenting you with your 100 perfect test history. But I think it's, noteworthy here that when it's all said and done with Henry, Olympic gold medalist, 2-division UFC champion, another part of his story was he did it all clean. And you just don't see that, on a professional sports level, a body of work like he has, proving to the world that he did it the right way. So again, a pleasure working with you, Henry. Congratulations, and thanks for everything you do, my man.
Go. Greatest comeback.
Yeah, I just like to say a few words. First of all, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Donna, for bringing USADA into this. As an Olympic athlete, since 2000, I want to say 2004, I've been tested, and it's just good to know that and it happens at times where you don't know if the other side is clean, but just the fact that my conscience is clean with everything that I've done. I just want to say thank you for bringing USADA and for keeping this sport as clean as you guys have. So Donna, Jeff, thank you guys. Maybe you guys will get a Letterman's jacket too.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, Donna.
Of course, sweetheart. Yeah.
C4.
We'll do a photo. Right here with Jeff? Right here? Oh, wait. Hold on. Let's get it. Right? No? Yes?
Perfect.
And then up here, just take hands for me. All right. And then everybody else will do a shot.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Fast, fast.
Text messages.
That's a real wrap, everybody. Say hello there. Guys. What's up, baby?
Hoops we had to jump through and we were And John, let's not forget, Henry was the first to protest and say, I won't fight in Nevada until you decide to change the rules for Nick Diaz when he got suspended for 5 years, $500,000.
That's true.
And they changed it.
That's true.
And he took a big hit of it.
That's true.
Because the first fight back was Benavidez. He beat up on Benavidez, and they didn't give him that one.
Sure.
And it was because of that, because he protested that commission. Call me conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theories are looking pretty good now.
Captain. All right, guys. Enjoyed it. There you go. Weigh-in stream. Bouts official. 3 jackets presented. A pen presented. Henry Cejudo out there. Setting it. All right. You guys enjoy it. Ceremonial weigh-ins later. I'm not going to be at ceremonial weigh-ins because the schedule is too tight with Tough Enough tonight. So if you want to watch some fights tonight, myself, Dave Fair, Jason Mahoney. Also, Don Fry is going to be there. Claudia Gadelia is going to be there. So we got a couple little guest contributors on the mic tonight. I mean, who doesn't want to tune in for some Don Fry? Anyway, see, Don Fry. Don Flamingo. We talking about Don Fry. You are late. Anyway, enjoy it, guys. Always enjoy the chat. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. That's a wrap. Can't wait for the fights. See y'all tomorrow.